Hi there, it's David Young, the Resourceful Coach, and what I'm going to talk a little bit about today is anxiety on the golf course, nerves. And it's one of the things I see the most. When I go out with people on the golf course, there's so much nerves about what they're looking to do. And we're going to look at three states of mind today. We're going to look at the past, the present, and the future, and show you which one of those is so important to getting the success that you want. Now, you can always go back and look at some of my videos before, and the biggest comment I get about my videos is two things. It's creating consistency, but it's also getting your mind in the correct position. And that's so important for me. If your mind's in the right place, it makes such a difference to what you're doing. And we tend to think about what we'd call negative and positive thinking. And what I'm going to show you today is, yes, negative thinking is there. I'm going to show you that's a bad thing. But I don't really believe in positive thinking. I don't want you to just say, well, I've got to think positively, it'll work. You've got to have clarity. That's the key thing. You've got to be clear in your mind of exactly what you're going to do. So biggest thing that we tend to see with people when they walk onto the golf course is they stand, let's say, we're here at the first tee at Corinthians, and it's the past tends to be the biggest problem that we have. People remember previous shots that were bad and they take it into the next shot. And I think the first tee then also brings in a second issue, I call it, which is social fear, which is a little bit, they're thinking a little bit ahead, the future, what are people going to think of them? Okay, and often around the first tee, you'll have your group, but you may have another group waiting because they've got their tee time just after you. And straight away, this is creating two massive problems when you play. So let's look at the past. The past can be used in a good way, but we tend to use it in a bad way. And as I said, we remember bad shots. We're standing here on the first tee, and we often see people hit it into the trees here. The fairway slides quite considerably left to right. They're worried about slicing it into the trees over there. And when you start talking to people, they tell you this. They go, oh, I'm worried about this happening. I'm worried about this happening. And the problem then is you're creating this very negative approach to the shot, and that creates a problem. As we said then, what we don't want to do then is the second thing, which is look into the future. You can't predict the future. Okay, and how often we do that? We all get to a certain point in the round and we might be doing well. And we go, oh, just give me 3 pars and a bogey, and then you drop 5 shots in the last 4 holes. So you can't predict that. So that's really important. And you can't, to be honest, the people there, what I called the social fear earlier, they're more worried about their game than yours because they're going through the same mental issues that you're going through. So this is what we need to do. Clarity of thinking, stay in the present. That's the key thing. You'll hear this a lot. And it's so important. And what I'm going to do now is give you a little bit of a story. I had one of the questions on one of my videos is that people said, since you've been doing the videos, how has your golf developed? And I'd say it's improved dramatically. And the reason being is because I'm talking you through what I want you to do, it's telling me what I want to do. And it gets me very clearly focused on what I want to achieve. So how am I going to do that on the first tee? Well, first thing I want to do, if I've played this hole plenty of times, if you play a golf course regularly, remind yourself of good tee shots you've played in that situation. So last time I played this hole, I hit an okay drive. It wasn't amazing, but it went down the fairway, had my little bit of draw, it was all good. So I'm going to tee the ball up. And now, amazingly, an hour ago, it was torrential rain here. Now we've got the sun come out. So I'm sorry if it's a little bit bright with the picture here. But as I look down the fairway, I can see some shadows coming off the trees in the distance. And now what I'm remembering is that's the line I want to hit it on. I want to see my natural little bit of draw that I hit. And again, this is my game, and I'm going to set up with that. And I always remember, for me, in my videos, if you've watched them, notice that I will always talk a little bit about rhythm, tempo. So now I'm thinking, right, aim at the shadows. Remember that shot I hit here last week. Good rhythm and tempo, that always works for me. So these are all positive, good things that I'm thinking about. Clarity, clear thinking about what I want to do. So I always come back, look at my shot, focus on what I'm doing. So I'm focusing on that idea of the shadows, move into the ball, make that target my small target. Again, everything's very clear what I want to do. Once I'm in that position, nice rhythm, tempo, feel what you know can work. And that ball's going nicely down the left of centre. I know the fairway will kick it slightly to the right. So really happy with that. And again, that will give me confidence to go into the next shot. So what I didn't do is panic as I got on that tee. I started to remember the good things that will help me to hit the shot. Now, we're going to create another shot. I'm going to create another story later that I've used in experience of playing with golfers and the success they've had. But we're going to go out now and create probably the shot I would say most golfers fear the most on the golf course, and show you how to deal with that, with anxiety, and stick to this clarity of thinking. So here's our second shot. It's going over that hazard. Here today we've got a water hazard that we've got to go over. I've shown you a picture there. We've got very little green to work with, and straight away what do golfers do? They start to panic. All of a sudden now it's thinking about what could go wrong. And what you've got to start to think about is again, get back into the present time. Okay, the more you stay in the now and focus on what you're doing now, the better. If you're thinking about shots where you may have hit the ground before and it's gone in the water, or you've thinned it over the other side of the green, the chances are now you are going to execute one of those shots. And as you get better, amazingly, if you think about duffing it into the water, you'll probably thin it. And if you're thinking about thinning it, you'll probably fat it, because you'll do the opposite to what you're thinking about. And your brain, as we talked about, one of my very early videos, we talked about the brain doesn't understand don't. It just understands the message after it. Don't put it in the water. The brain is saying put it in the water. So you've got to think positively. Well, there's that word again, but we're going to use the word clearly to think about what you want to achieve. Okay, it's roughly a 35-yard pitch. Well, have you done a 35-yard pitch before with height when there hasn't been anything in the way? If you have, you can execute this shot. And for me, it gives me even more clarity of thinking when I've got this shot. I've got very little green to work with. I've got approximately, probably from the edge of the water, I've got about 6 feet of fringe, and then I've probably got about 12 to 15 feet of green. But it actually now gives me a much clearer idea of what I want to do. Now, again, if you don't feel you've got the skills to control it there, behind the flag, we've got around about 40, 50 feet of green. So this is a shot I say to a lot of people, think about landing it on the flag, and if it rolls 20 feet past, that's a lot better than being in the water. So again, it's getting a clear idea of what you want with the shot. And the story I was going to tell you about, we talked about my feeling when I get out there and my game's got better. I used to teach a particular guy, and when I used to work at a driving range, he was the very first guy I ever taught. And John, unfortunately, is not with us anymore. And he used to run a golf day. He used to run a golf day every year at his golf club. And he was embarrassed because often he'd win it. And the reason why he would win it is because he'd go out with what he would say the higher handicappers, and he'd half be telling them what to do. And he'd be going through very clearly in his mind, well, you want to do this, you want to do that. And they'd execute the shot great. Now, we used to probably play a playing lesson every 3 weeks. And it was very indifferent. 1 week he'd play to his 11, 12 handicap. The next week he'd play to 20. And you could see what was happening was he was really thinking too much on the golf course. What he did when he went out with those particular people, his clients, whoever he was looking after, he wasn't really thinking about what could go wrong. He was just telling them very positive, clear things. The clarity, well, you need to do this. And he executed the shot. And he'd often come in off 11 handicap with 42 points. He said, I never played very much single-figure golf, but he would always do well. So it just shows the importance. If you can stay in the now, the present time, forget what's happened. Only time you use what's happened is if it's going to help you to remember a shot like I did on the first tee. Okay, that's the only time you use the past. You don't remember the bad things from the past. You can't predict the future. So you'll hear this expression in sport called in the zone. It's staying in the now. Stay in the present time. So I'm looking at this shot. I'm focusing on what I want. I want to land this. Let's do the first one I said what to do. Land it right on the flag. So then there's a nice positive swing. Look, there's a lot more freedom to the swing. Anxiety creates tension in the swing. If I can create that freedom in the swing, let the club go through, execute the shot. And we've landed that probably level with the flag. And because we got a decent strike, it's rolled about 8 to 10 feet past. Well, that's over a hazard. I'll be very happy with that. Now, can I take it to another level? The skill level. But what I'm not going to do now is worry about doing that. I'm going to think about, how do I do that? Well, I just let my instincts take over and think, well, can I land it now pretty much where the fringe is? Can I land this 8 to 10 feet less than the last one? See what I get. We've gone over a little bit to the right, but the power was good. I'm now probably only about 4 feet away from the hole. So again, like we were saying, because I'm thinking clearly what I want, I'm executing the shot well. And it can be that simple. Okay, that's the important thing to say. You'll be sitting there going, oh, it's not that easy. It is that easy. If you can play the shot, remember it, recall it, say to yourself, I can do it again. Remember what it felt like. Feel the rhythm. Sense the feel of the shot as you go through. And when you execute it, it's so much fun. That's the great thing about it. That's what I love about golf, especially these shots. I love it. Because if you can execute this, you're probably gaining so many shots on your mates. So again, let's see if we can get it even closer. That one tried to be a little bit cute. Well, we got over. Okay, not quite as good as the second one. But they've all got ourselves. The first one we said might go 12, 15 feet past, and it did. The next two, I tried to see if I could take my skill level. But again, it's just drawing on the now. Focus on what you want. Have a bit of fun with it, and you're going to have a lot of success. I hope you've enjoyed that video. Please go and watch, as I said. Again, the brain doesn't understand the word don't. My first T nerves ones. Go back and look at those two videos because it will give you a little bit of an insight. But if you watch my videos, especially any of the ones where I'm on the golf course, it's about saying this is what I need to do, not what I don't want to do. Think about what you want to do. Clarity. That's the key word. Are you clear in your mind what to do? If you're not and you haven't got the skills, go and work on it. Go and have a lesson with your pro. Go and work on those ideas and develop it, and you can move on. Watch my videos if that helps to give you the ideas. Go and have a go with it. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please subscribe to my channel. Press that little bell so you get notifications. Every Tuesday and Friday my videos go out. Please enjoy them. Please make some comments. I always reply to them. Thanks a lot.